On the UK driving test, you'll get one tell me question at the start of the test and one show me question during the test while you're driving. A tell me question requires you to give the answer verbally. The show me question requires you to perform the requested task physically. You get a fault if you get one or both of these questions wrong. If you drive dangerously or potentially dangerously while answering the show me question, you'll fail the test. There are 14 tell me questions. For 3 of them, you'll need to be able to open the bonnet. There are 7 show me questions, and in this video I'm going to show you how to deal with all of them in a Peugeot 208. Tell me how you check the brakes before starting a journey. The brakes shouldn't feel spongy or slack. You check them just as you set off, like this. And they shouldn't pull the vehicle to one side. Tell me where you'd find the information for the recommended tyre pressures for this car and how tyre pressures should be checked. Firstly, consult the manufacturer's guide. Use a reliable pressure gauge. Check and adjust the pressures when the tyres are cold. Don't forget to check the spare tyre and remember to refit the valve caps. Tell me how you'd adjust the headrest so as to provide the maximum protection in the event of a crash. The rigid part of the headrest should be at least as high as the top of the ears or in line with the eyes. It should be as close to the back of the head as is comfortable. And remember that not all headrests are adjustable. Tell me how you check that the tyres have sufficient tread depth and that their general condition is safe for use on the roads. For the tread depth, use a 20p coin. The outer rim of the 20p coin is 1.6mm. You need at least 1.6mm minimum tread depth all the way around the tyre and across the centre 3/4 breadth. There must be also no cuts or bulges in the wall of the tyre. Tell me how you check that the headlights and the tail lights are working. You don't need to exit the vehicle. You'd have to turn on the ignition. You'd just say that you'd operate the switch, then you'd walk around the vehicle. And as this is a tell me question, you don't need to physically check the lights. Tell me how you'd know if there was a problem with the anti-lock braking system. Turn on the ignition and you'd see some warning lights illuminate. The ABS warning light would stay on if there was a problem with the anti-lock braking system. The next question asks how you check that the indicator lights are working. To do this, you press the hazard warning light button. Because this is a tell me question, you don't have to leave the car, but I'll show you what it looks like when all the indicators are working from the outside. The next question asks you to tell the examiner how you check your brake lights. There are 2 ways. One, you could get someone to walk outside the car and tell you if they were illuminating as you press the brake pedal. But in the Peugeot 208 today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the reflections of this car behind. I'm going to press on the brake pedal and you can see the lights reflecting. Remember, you just have to tell the examiner this, you don't have to demonstrate it. Tell me how you'd check your power-assisted steering is working before starting a journey. Tell the examiner that you'd try to turn the steering wheel with the ignition off and it would be stiff. Then, when you turn the ignition, you'd find that the wheel would move easily and smoothly if the power-assisted steering was working. To operate the fog lights in this car, go to the indicator stalk and twist it until you reach the headlights or headlamps illumination. And then you twist this collar on the stalk twice to get the rear fog lights to illuminate. Remember that you'd only use your fog lights when visibility is seriously reduced, generally when it's 100 meters or less. The next 3 questions are the under bonnet tell me questions. For these, you have to open the bonnet. To do this, locate the bonnet lever, which is low down and to the left of the front passenger seat. Pull this up and towards you. This will release a catch that holds the bonnet closed. Go to the front of the car. There's another catch just under the bonnet that you have to find because it's hidden from view. It's just to the left of the Peugeot badge as you stand facing the car. Pull this upwards and then lift the bonnet upwards. Use the metal arm to hold the bonnet open like this. To close the bonnet, lift it upwards, replace the metal arm securely, then lower the bonnet downwards and near the bottom, drop it so that the catch engages. If you're asked how you'd check the engine oil level, say that you'd check the dipstick and see if the oil was between the minimum and maximum mark. If you're asked how you'd check the coolant, say that you'd do it when the car was cold to prevent getting burns. Then you'd look to see if the coolant was above the minimum level marked on the header tank. If it was too low, you'd top it up by opening the cap and putting in the correct fluid. The examiner may ask you how you check the brake fluid. To do that, point to the brake fluid reservoir. Say you check to see if the fluid was between the maximum and minimum marks. And now it's time for the show me questions. Now remember with these, when you're driving, concentrate on the safety aspect. Make sure it's all clear and then perform the show me question. If you forget where the switch is, tell the examiner, say you'd like to stop to find the switch, then start driving again and perform the show me question when it's safe. This is especially true with the horn because you don't want to startle any other road users. Okay, the first show me question is to demonstrate the rear windscreen washer. You just turn the dial on the windscreen wiper stalk all the way. Remember to turn it off if you don't need it. The second question is the front windscreen washer. Pull the stalk towards you. Easy. The third question, you'll be asked to operate the dipped headlights. So this is the indicator stalk, and then you turn this dial on the end all the way up and you should have the dip beam selected. For the fourth question, it's the rear demister. You just press this button. The fifth question is the front windscreen demister. Make sure the air conditioning's on. Turn this dial to that symbol, the windscreen symbol. This dial to the windscreen symbol. And then the air conditioning should start to demist the front windscreen. Then you're going to have to demonstrate the horn. Make sure no one's around. And the last question you might get asked is to operate the side windows like this. Push down. And to close the window, pull back. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this explanation of the show me tell me questions in the Peugeot 208. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to rate, comment and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching.